We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Nigeria clinches 2024 Waffle B Cup of Nations after defeating Ghana 2-1 Wednesday night. Federal government assures of adequate security on the Abuja Express Way when it becomes operational. Edo State Police Command arrests 2 suspects in connection with the kidnapping of the Rector, Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary of the Catholic Diocese of Auchi. I am Florence Joshua with these and more. Nigeria has claimed the 2024 Under-20 Waffle B Cup of Nations Championship title following their 2-1 win over Ghana on Wednesday night, October 30th. Nigeria were the better side in opening half of the game and were rightly rewarded for their efforts. Nigeria opened the scoring in the 33rd minute of the game with a brilliant finish from Karobi Akere. Arehi doubled the lead for his side 10 minutes later as he tucked into the top left corner after a loose ball in the 18-yard box. Despite a spirited late attempt from Ghana, Nigeria held their nerves to ensure they sealed the win and went on to lift the trophy. Regardless of the result on Wednesday night, the 2 teams automatically qualified for the next year's Under-20 African Cup of Nations. The federal government is sure of adequate security on the Abuja Express Way when it becomes operational. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, who gave the assurance in Abuja, stressed that within 10 minutes of any incident along the route, security people will be able to respond. This assurance came as a relief to the people of Nigeria, a country bedeviled by insecurity. A cross-section of Nigerians who spoke with correspondents of Clearview News Desk submitted that nothing is too much to pay for security. Some commuters who are already plying the route ahead of the tolling said proper maintenance of the Abuja Express Way is not going to be a tea party. They therefore urge Nigerians to cultivate the habit of paying for good services as it is obtainable in advanced countries of the world, adding that this is what other citizens of many countries we like to visit do. A journalist and security expert, Hassan Sadiq, said he has looked beyond the tolling and is now focusing attention on the attendance benefits. He believes that when the people pay tolls for using the beautifully built expressway, they will be providing the government a good opportunity to maintain it in a safe and sustainable way and also to build even more similar roads in the future. A mechanic, Olu Adiola, in his contribution on a lighter note said, the expressway will enable vehicles to be saying thank you for less damage or repairs. Clearview News Desk reliably learns that the 4 toll gates along the 260-kilometer Abuja Makadi Expressway were in conformity with the requirements of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission (ICRC). Nigerians have been commending the federal government for the timely delivery of the project. The road, executed by the China Harbour Engineering Company Limited, was funded up to 85% by China Exim Bank, with 15% counterpart funding from the federal government. A section of the agreement states that the company would toll the road and then recoup the money for the government to pay back the loan segment of the project. Officers of the Edo State Police Command have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the kidnapping of Reverend Father Thomas Ayode, Rector of the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary of the Catholic Diocese of Auchi in Esako East local government area of the state. This was made known by Commissioner of Police in Edo State, CP Umaru Peter Oziki, at a press briefing at the police headquarters on Wednesday in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Clevius Gloria Atta has details.
At his maiden interaction with members of the press following his appointment as Commissioner of Police in Edo State, CP Umaru Peter Ozigi reinstated the commitment of officers and men of the Nigerian police to protecting lives and property of residents in the state. Speaking on the recent kidnapping of the rector of the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary of the Catholic Diocese of Auchi in Esako East local government area, Reverend Father Thomas Ayode, CP Ozigi said that 2 suspects were already in police custody in connection to the case.
The command has responded to the unfortunate incident of the kidnap of Reverend Father Thomas Ayode from Diocese Minor Seminary in Agenebode by rejigging the security architecture. 2 suspects have been arrested in this regard, while efforts are ongoing to rescue the Reverend Father and apprehend the culprits.
Recall that some members of the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary were on Sunday attacked by gunmen during their evening prayers and benediction. The development led to the kidnapping of the rector of the minor seminary, Reverend Father Ayode, who reports say volunteered himself for other members of his church to be freed by the abductors. Speaking further on the command's achievements under his watch, CP Ozigi said the command has rejigged the security architecture in the state, leading to the arrest of various criminals operating in different parts of the state.
In the same vein, the command has reviewed the security situation of the core-related killings that have claimed innocent life in Upper Sepoba area of Benin City. We have made robust security arrangements through the deployment of intelligence operatives to gather information. Tactical teams have been charged to commence aggressive stop and search, as well as vehicular and foot patrols to curb cult activities and ensure a crime-free environment. On this note, we are warning all criminals to desist from all acts of criminality or relocate from the state, as anyone caught will be dealt with according to the law.
While assuring that all the suspects would be charged to court upon completion of investigations, CP Ozigi called on residents of the state to support efforts of the Nigerian police in combating crime and criminality. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview News.
In its effort to secure the future of investigative reporting in the age of AI, the Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism converged media practitioners on a one-day civic space guard conference to present 2023 journalism and civic space status reports. Clearview News' Imofano Kon, who was at the event, reports that top on the agenda was a brainstorming session, interplay between emerging technologies, free pass, investigative reporting, and civic space.
The Executive Director, Wale Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, Montirayo Alaka, said the Civic Space Conference with the theme AI, Free Press and Civic Space, Tools, Challenges and the Future of Investigative Reporting. The artificial intelligence will help expose hidden truth, streamline complex data, and create visualizations that will make the invisible visible and present immense potential to give journalists new tools and ensure ease of information sharing to explore new solutions.
So 9 out of 10 times a journalist is harassed while working. We believe this is making journalists an endangered species, and this is not good for our democracy. If we want to build democracy, journalists need to feel confident and safe. In fact, journalists should see security agencies and say, oh, they are here, I'm fine. I will be able to do my work better because I have seen that there's a police here that will uphold my rights as a journalist.
Against the backdrop of police harassment and intimidation of journalists, the first public relations officer, Nigeria Police Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said the Nigeria Police is not an agent of intimidation or hindrance to the operation of journalism in Nigeria.
The police has never been the agent of oppression or intimidation to the journalism profession. We are actually trying our best to even protect that profession from the hands of these individuals. Citizen journalism is a problem.
Speaking on the importance of AI in the 21st century, other stakeholders noted that the digital space will create the society that is right and add value to journalistic practice in Nigeria.
But AI now can be trained in order to help us sift through large volumes of information and just make our work easier.
And this is the beauty of technology. It gives you this unrestricted access to the kinds of information that you are interested in or you are passionate about.
In every application of artificial intelligence, there has to be, it cannot replace the work of humans. It can only aid it. The humans still have to review every final output.
Investigative journalism is a very strong tool to ensure that democracy and the civic space as large remains with as much integrity as it should.
The conference explores the critical relationship between a free press, civic space, and investigative reporting with a focus on the challenges and opportunities presented by emerging technologies, as well as leverage the power of the media to fortify the civic space and tackle malinformation. Imefonokun reporting for Clever News.
Some female journalists have identified sexual harassment, insecurity, discrimination, name-calling such as prostitute, threats by family members, lack of prospects like their male colleagues, and unfriendly maternity conditions as some of the challenges mitigating against the realization of their full potential. Clever News correspondent met with these female journalists in Abuja and now brings us details.
Findings have shown that Nigerian female journalists experience different types of gender unsavory, including discrimination in news gathering, production, and sexual harassment. Some female journalists who spoke with Clever News crew, while narrating some of the challenges they experience in the field, said female journalists are clustered in the soft beat than their male counterparts.
When it comes to getting the right people to interview, you discover that some of them might be asking for your own body. Especially when you talk about politicians and the well-to-do in the society, they will want to take something from you first before giving you what you request from them. So it's come as a challenge to me that sometimes I really look at it that, is it really meant for the ladies? Because we expose ourselves, and when it comes to marriage, thank God I'm married, when it comes to marriage, you discover that it's really causing delay in our parts, because so many suitors that will come your way will look at you as a prostitute because of the kind of people you are exposed to, the kind of people you meet in the society, you are connected to this, to that, because of the beats you covered. So at the end of it, when your right suitor will now come to you and somebody will now say, this guy, this lady, I saw her there, it's possible this guy is dating her and all those stuff. So it might change the mindset of your soon-to-be suitor.
That I'm not married, it doesn't mean because I'm a journalist. No, it just means that my time has not yet come. it has nothing to do with the kind of job I do. And for them to say that maybe because you're practicing journalism, you are more exposed. I think for me, I look at it from the point of view that those men are intimidated.
So issue of security to some extent is one area that is a challenge for women journalists, yeah. And we have also newsroom segregation. They'll tell you that only special stories like women and children, they'll tell you that those are the kind of stories that women should do. In the field, we also meet harassment.
When I wasn't married, it was still the same thing. I leave my house as early as 6, and I don't return till 9, 10 then. I still balance everything. But when you now kind of hear people say certain things, oh, because she's not married, that's why you see her doing certain things outside with some men or whatever. Even the married ones at times, they do it.
The woman, you go for 1 week, they say, you look at the married woman, she left because she's a which kind of assignment, she's the only one doing it. But for a man, nobody hears that. Another challenge is that when you get to a place, they first of all assess you. They assess you to know if it is somebody that maybe they can tell you, okay, we are meeting somewhere, or maybe giving you an appointment of the camera to meet somewhere. Maybe this sexual abuse to harassment is very, very common.
Marriage and motherhood are the dominant factors creating class ceilings for women journalists working in the Nigerian news media. So, how can there be a balance in all of this?
You understand? So it's about trust, it's about believing in having a partner that believes in your dream. Because your passion as a journalist, a female journalist, is supposed to, it's not supposed to be just inherent. People are supposed to see it. Hence, your partner can easily key into that. I know days that I will not be able to do certain wifely duties or motherly duties at home, and then my husband steps in. Sometimes if it's more than him, he'll be like, please let me call grandma.
Yes, all thanks to my husband, because he's this kind of man that understands what the job is like. Even before I take up this responsibility as a journalist, he told me the intros, he told me what it takes to be a journalist. And I told him, what if we have to close late? He said, I understand what it is. And one thing is, what I want to tell people out there is trust. Once your husband, your spouse trusts you, there's no way, even if you tell him you're going to be closing by 12, by 1 a.m., he will understand. And because of the level of trust he has in you, he will not be able to doubt where you are. So I tried as much as possible. Whenever I have the time, whenever I'm around, I take care of my children, I do the needful.
As a female journalist, if you are married, you should be able to balance, as in the home and the job.
As a woman, especially when you have age to have a family, you have to now marry the job, the family and the job together. And you have to now prepare how to see to balance it. It's not easy.
Experts say gender-based discrimination, sexual harassment and sexism are rife in Nigerian news companies, and many organizations do not have policies and frameworks to address them. The few who handle sexual harassment complaints do so unofficially and off the records.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
We break the news.
This is Christ Embassy.
Recollect, we were the first to break this. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has approved the appointment of 3 second-class emirs. And this?
Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth.
And this?
Fubara is not an ungrateful person.
And more.
Tension is currently mounting in Rivers State.
The planned arraignment of Yaya Bello.
Across our platforms. Subscribe now and you will be receiving our notifications and never left out as the news breaks on Clearview.
Welcome back. 8,448 cases of Lassa Fever have been reported since January this year, with 35 of them being healthcare workers. Meanwhile, 174 deaths have been recorded at week 40 this year, while infections have been reported in 28 Nigerian states, including the Federal Capital Territory. To curb future outbreak of Lassa Fever in Nigeria, the Nigerian Red Cross Society has converged health experts, humanitarian workers, and other stakeholders on a one-day Lassa Fever roundtable on the need to brainstorm and highlight effective community engagement strategies, efficient resource mobilization, preventive and control measures as keys to controlling Lassa Fever outbreak. Clearview News' Imofonokon was there and now tells us more.
Lassa fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic illness caused by the Lassa virus, a member of the arenavirus family of viruses. As the dry season sets in, the operational coordinator, International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, Francis Innocent Salako, and other health experts have advised individuals, families, and communities to remain calm and adhere to public health measures, including practicing good hygiene, ensuring access to safe drinking water, maintaining a safe and clean environment, as well as avoidance.
So we need to still working with the community, trying to engage community participants, community leaders, and also, of course, the government and other partners to raise the awareness of communities throughout this project that we're implementing, and actually try to get some leaders also at the level of the community to adopt some basic hygiene attitude, and we're sure that this will actually help.
So part of what we do, we distribute a lot of rat traps to vulnerable communities. We also know how hygiene promotion is key in the response to Lassa, so we also distribute disinfectants. We distributed some soaps, so that people can improve their hygiene promotion. So today we're coming together with relevant stakeholders that also implement in their own capacity for the Lassa fever response in Nigeria. What we're doing is to brainstorm, to look at what we did right and what really did not go well.
We also need to up our games, because currently in Nigeria we have multiple outbreaks. We are responding to cholera, we have mpox, and now Lassa fever will be looked into. So I want to encourage us to up our game and let's collaborate.
Stakeholders, humanitarian and health workers also advocated for a coordinated prevention and control strategy to checkmate the potential outbreak and spread of Lassa fever.
In as much as, vaccine is very, very important. Very important, you understand, to curb this disease, because if the immunity of the populace is built, you understand, this disease will not even have a way to spread. But in the meantime, while we are waiting for this vaccine, to come up, you understand, IPC will be one of the measures, is the strategy we have to employ too.
What can we do? Because the rats will come. As much as possible, we do emphasize, like I said, RCC key priority behaviors. Number one, improve your personal hygiene, improve your food safety, coverage, storage, improve your environmental hygiene, keep waste away. So I feel like it needs a more integrated approach. It needs a lot of public-private partnership.
It's a heavy demanding in resources. You need to also have very specific layout of the treatment center so that no one can enter if it doesn't have something to do. So that you don't bring the virus from the treatment center elsewhere in the hospital, and then your hospital become an infection center rather than protecting the treatment center.
The Lassa Fever Roundtable, which basically was a review of best practices, aims at highlighting milestones and future solutions to outbreaks of Lassa fever. Imefonokon, reporting for Clearview News.
Access to social media in Mozambique was restricted for the second time in a week on Thursday, a global internet watchdog said, as the opposition called for strikes over disputed presidential election. It was gathered that restrictions have been imposed in Mozambique, affecting Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Opposition figurehead Venancio Mondlane, 50, leader of the small Podemos party, called a nationwide strike from Thursday to November 7th after the ruling Frelimo party's Daniel Chapo, who has been in power for 49 years, was declared winner of the election. It was unclear if Motlane's call to paralyze the country would be followed, but the capital Maputo was a ghost city on Thursday last week. The country's electoral commission declared Chapo 47 winner of the election with 70% of votes, while Motlane came in second with 20%. Meanwhile, police have sent out text messages on Wednesdays and Thursdays instructing residents not to participate in acts of sabotage. And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Nigeria has claimed the 2024 Under-20 UTV Cup of Nations Championship title following their 2-1 win over Ghana on Wednesday night. The federal government is sure of adequate security on the Abuja Express Way when it becomes operational. Officers of the Edo State Police Command have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the kidnapping of Reverend Father Thomas Ayode, Rector of the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary of the Catholic Diocese of Awuchi in Esako East local government area of the state. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Clearview News Desk or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Florence Joshua. Bye for now.